Welcome to the Bearded Adventures YouTube channel. This time, we're in the south of Germany. Check out some castles. Hi, I'm Brian Baker.
Welcome to the Bearded Adventures YouTube channel. Let's do something awesome.
I was way too excited to sleep, so as soon as the sun was up, I made my way downstairs for breakfast, and more importantly, coffee. And then I boarded a train headed for the Frankfurt main station. Now, I'm not very well versed in the German train system, so I went to the ticket counter for some guidance before making my way through the train station, which was a huge help. And then I missed my train. Eventually, I made it on the train headed the right direction, and I'm happy I took the train so I could enjoy those are teepees. Those are teepees. So I could enjoy the views from the beautiful German countryside. Though I may have gotten a bit distracted looking out the window because at the transfer station I got on the right train going the wrong way. That was a lesson learned in how important these screens are. That all sorted out, it's time to get on the bus headed to Braunfels. The down and dirty history is, in 1845, a guy called Karl, who some knew as Prince Solms Braunfels or whatever, went from Germany to Texas and established a German community who would go on to name a bowling alley in his honor and maintain their heritage by having an annual sausage fest they call Wurstfest. Karl reinvigorated the name for this Texas land that he borrowed from his home in Germany by adding the word new. This morning we're headed out to see something really awesome and personal to me because of where I grew up. I grew up in a little town called New Braunfels, Texas, and for the first time ever, I get to go see where New Braunfels got the new from, in the castle Braunfels. The walk from the bus terminal was only 10 minutes, but I could have spent the whole day here. If you watch any of my travel videos, it's fairly certain I would have come to this castle anyways. However, I wanted Braunfels Castle to be my first castle in Germany and the first of several castles in this video just for nostalgia. Walking through the streets here did feel a little familiar because of the little bits of Germany that are imported into my Texas town. But there was nothing like this castle. This castle was beautiful inside and out. There was only one issue.
You're allowed to take pictures outside, but not inside the castle.
Unfortunately, the people at the castle said that you couldn't film inside the castle.
So there's a guided tour. It's the only way to see the castle with a guide.
Okay. So, we don't have a lot of film from inside the castle, but I did have some film from inside the museum where we were allowed to film. The Solms family picked New Braunfels in Texas for their final spot, and I'm not really sure why. The castle itself was around for some 700 years before old Karl paddled across the pond to Texas, making this castle, in some form or another, nearly 1,000 years old. Prince Solms did return to Germany after getting everything in Texas started, and he never went back. If I had to guess, I'd say it was the bathrooms that brought him back. Today, the castle is owned by a private family that operates it as a museum and uses the revenue from visitors to maintain the pieces of history. And I had no idea the wax seals you see in the movies were so intricate. There was so much in the museum I didn't get to. If you have a translation app, it would come in very handy to read the informational placards around the museum. I think this translates to back scratcher. I loved back scratchers. Loved them. And that thing blows. And I don't speak any German, but the writing on the wall says this is like a paper press. Literally, writing on the wall. The tour was totally worth it. I only know how to say donut in German, and there was no English tours. But the tour guide would fill me in on the high points in English, which I really appreciated. She didn't have to do that. But even if she hadn't done that, the insides of the castle were very impressive. The tour guide did tell me she had something special for me, and it turned out to be unexpectedly pretty dang cool. Because of my somewhat special status as a traveler from New Braunfels, I did get to take a selfie with a portrait of old Karl himself. We're going to head back to Frankfurt now, and bear with me because I'm going to show you the part of the city that I chose to pick a hotel in, which is it's not the best part of town. But first we got to get some wheels. The car we're in right now is a Seat. Hello, Seat. It's probably one of the ugliest cars that I've had from a rental agency. But hey man, it's getting the job done. It's pretty fun. It doesn't have a whole lot of legs above 200 kilometers an hour, but like they say, it's way more fun to drive a slow car fast than it is to drive a fast car slow. This is a slow car and it's fun. Yeah, so I stayed at the Hilton because it's really close to the bus station, but I didn't know that it was also in the middle of the red light district. The little Seat was fun in the winding German roads, but it was best to drive a little slower and take in the views because the Rhine River's banks are dotted with these beautiful castles. So many, in fact, I had to choose locations for this video carefully, and I only made it to this castle after hours. Our next castle was visible for miles, and even through my bug-covered windshield, it looked breathtaking, as were the quaint little villages on the way up to our next castle. This time we're at Hohenzollern, I think I'm saying that right, castle in the south of Germany, and it is one of the castles that I'm most excited to see. Let's start walking around. This hilltop has been the site of a castle since the 11th century. This is the third iteration of castle in this location. This 150-year-old version of the castle took 4 years to design and 17 years to build. Its construction was finished in 1867, but the castle we see today is mostly a showpiece and has never permanently housed any of the German royalty. The castle has all of the normal marks of a fortified battle castle, including several drawbridges, towers, and a brilliant Zweiger, allowing defenders a long time to target advancing forces as they spiral their way up to the main courtyard.
Balls.
The castle is still owned by the family Hohenzollern today, partially owned by the Prince of Prussia, which I thought was a made-up place until researching to record this voiceover. As it turns out, Prussia was a massive empire that extended well past the modern-day borders of Germany. The Hohenzollern dynasty ruled Prussia as kings and later emperors from 1701 as a government known as the Second Reich, until it was abolished in 1947 after some kind of conflict that nobody here in Germany wants to talk about for some reason. The castle sees some 350,000 visitors every year. The entrance fees, a reasonable 22 euros, are what fund the maintenance and upkeep of the castle. The castle now has a restaurant, a beer garden, and of course a gift shop. Let's head inside the walls and see what else this showpiece has to offer. Man, even the archers had a good view of this castle. Not to be outdone by the impressive facade of the castle's outer battlements, the two chapels and family residence are equally beautiful. Fine craftsmanship covers every square inch of the interior, which is absolutely stunning and requires an in-person visit with some time to really stop and appreciate the beauty. The impressive genealogy is painted on the walls when first entering the castle, and the rooms are full of curated pieces from various periods in the Hohenzollern dynasty. I did not get to see it, but apparently the crown jewels are kept here and regularly open for viewing. Digital audio guides are offered in English by using your smartphone, but the tour is just a free roam through the castle with monitors in every room who are happy to answer questions. One impression I took from this castle is the more wealthy you are, the nicer your ceiling has to be. Even these small passages had ornate ceilings, and the fancier the room, the fancier the ceiling. There are signs all over the castle that the upkeep and restoration efforts needed to maintain this castle are constant and ongoing. I appreciate the time and effort the Germans have put forward to preserve these places of history for our future generations. Now we have to jump in the car though and head to another castle nearby. I have another channel that talks about the epic speed runs I was fortunate enough to do on the Autobahn. If you're interested in that, head to my other channel linked above here. Lichtenstien Castle was a quick stop on the way to our next castle. It's a replica of a medieval castle built in 1842. There was a medieval castle on this spot built in the year 1100, but it was destroyed by townsfolk within 50 years. The current castle underwent repairs and renovations in 1945, and then starting again in 1982 and lasting until 2002 after falling into disrepair. Lichtenstien Castle was another castle where photos weren't allowed and the tours were only offered in German the day that I came. I did take the tour, but I may have made a mistake by seeing Hohenzollern first. Though the preservation efforts have made a big impact, it only takes up a minute of this video for a reason. Because of its precarious footings, it's a neat photo opportunity if you happen to be in the area, but you'll have to get in line. At noon, there is a massive line of traffic up here, all waiting to get into this castle else. Even the German folks are turning around. Everybody that you see passing by this way, it's because they're turning around and getting out of line. This is wild. This time we're at the Eltz Castle in Germany, and it's looking pretty promising. Let's go inside and have a look. The Eltz Castle is a breathtaking, true medieval castle reaching back to the early 1100s as part of the Roman Empire and was even featured on the 500 Deutschmark note before the euro. The location has records of a manor on this site going back to the year 800. The castle was neglected and restored multiple times throughout its history, most recently in a $4.4 million restoration lasting from 2009 to 2012, but you would never know it as you walk through the castle. The castle is built in 3 branches of the Eltz family in different houses that can be identified by the differing construction of various sections. The differences come from the various popular building styles over the 500-year construction period. The property is a lush green, covering nearly 750 acres. And the castle avoided major conflict and destruction during war through clever political positioning. In one instance, while many castles in the area were being destroyed, a member of the Eltz family became an officer of the French army and removed any record of the Eltz castle to prevent its destruction. In 1815, a single line of the Eltz family bought out all of the others, and the castle was once again owned by a single family. The tours take place in the uninhabited sections, but they don't allow filming, so you'll have to come see the insides for yourself. Most interesting though, 1/3 of the castle is still inhabited by the 34th generation of the Eltz family today. If you have time, I definitely would recommend taking the 1.3 kilometer walk to and from the castle because it's really pretty. But if you don't, there's a bus that you can take. The waiting line's long. It's like €2 one way. The hike is really pretty. Definitely take the hike. Well, I finally find the old medieval castle that I've been looking for, and it happens to be right next to a racetrack. For the video on the racetrack, go ahead and check out my other YouTube channel, Burnouts and Rotoblades, where we took 4 laps around the Nurburgring in England with a rental car. Bro, it's a gyrocopter flying over the castle. That's so cool. Nurburg Castle dates back to the Roman times, but became a knight's castle in the 1100s, making it a true medieval castle. It's only a stone's throw from the famous Nurburgring racetrack. Like Hohenzollern, it sports a Zweiger to control approaching forces, but it doesn't seem to have worked as well since the castle was taken by both the Swedes and the French before eventually being converted into a prison in the 1700s. It was basically destroyed during this period with the exception of the tall central tower. It reached its lowest point while being used as a rock quarry. The castle was restored in stages by many groups over the years, with major renovations taking place as early as 1818 by the Prussians and lasting until the 1870s. The beautiful sounds of race car engines are always in the background and have presumably been there since the 1920s. Another castle renovation took place in 1949. Noticed a lot of renovations took place in the 1940s to buildings all over Germany. Anyways, I didn't spend as much time in the castle as I would have liked to, but it was well worth a small entry fee. More recently, reconstruction work has been carried out since 2013, and it's obvious the grounds are well kept, which is what I'm sure the entry fee is for. If you find yourself near the Nurburgring, this is an absolute must-see. But we have to get up in that big central tower and have a look. Wow. What a view. Holy cow. I saved this place for last, not because it's the best preserved or the prettiest or anything like that, but it's my favorite kind. I love these castle ruins, kind of, not over curated, not rebuilt recently, and where you can take pictures inside. Man, you can really tell how big this place was in its heyday. There would have been a floor up there all the way around, another floor here at this level, 1, 2, 3 stories at least before all the walls fell. Probably a doorway into another part of it. This place is humongous. Wow. Let's go up. Right. You can see where there used to be a fireplace. So they did a good job on this one. No way. Are you serious right now? There's more? Heck yes. Oh, there's more? Freaking awesome. Heck yeah. Holy crapola, they let us go all the way to the top? This is awesome. That's it for this one. Go to back to Frankfurt, catch our plane out in the morning. I appreciate the subscriptions, the likes, the comments. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. This is officially the Autobahn. Now we go downstairs for parking. Construction. That retaining wall in between the two dividing lines is man, if you sneezed, you'd be taking out the people in the other direction.